Today we're talking about the Meike 28mm f2.8 lens. I think that's how you say the name. Let me know how to pronounce the brand name in the comments if you know. Anyway, it's a very small manual focus prime lens that's only £70. So it's really affordable, and here's what it can do. I noticed about this lens was how small it is. Now I know prime lenses are small by nature, but this takes the trophy. Up until now, the smallest lens I've owned is the 17mm Olympus, which is the kit lens that you would get with the Pen F, for instance. It's very small. This lens is even smaller than that. It's in between a tiny lens cap lens and the 17mm in terms of size, so really small. It looks a little bit compact on some camera bodies. It looks really cool on some camera bodies, and on some camera bodies it looks really small. Of course the size is an advantage because you can get more stuff in your bag and it's innocuous when you're out and about, so it's great. The downside is, with it being manual focus, you have an aperture ring and a focus ring on this teeny tiny lens. They are quite close to one another, and it does take a little bit of getting used to figuring out which is which by touch and getting to grips with the lens. But once you've got over that little learning curve, it's very fast to switch between the two and very intuitive. So it does take a little bit of getting used to. At first you're kind of like, my hands are stupid and this lens is tiny and I don't know how to use it. Maybe that's just me. But eventually you get used to it. So yay, it's very compact, but with that does come a little bit of a learning curve. Given its size, I'm actually amazed at how heavy this lens is. Of course it's not very heavy because it's tiny, but compared to the 17mm again, it is a little bit heavier. This just proves that the build quality for the price is exceptional. It feels really well built, and it is metal. The sharpness of this lens is out of this world. I was a bit concerned when I saw the size of it and the price of it, but I'm very happy to report that it's ridiculously sharp throughout. I did a lot of architecture and street photography and didn't notice any soft parts whatsoever, and all the brickwork and everything, you can really draw out the clarity because the image quality is there to begin with. So really sharp. I'm very impressed with that for the price. And even not for the price, just in general, I'm really impressed with how sharp it is. We've covered it before, but manual focus does have its benefits for video as well. You can pull focus easier, and I'm very happy to report also that infinity focus on this lens, where it's marked, is infinity focus. Sometimes with cheaper lenses they just mark them a bit all over the place and you have to sort of fix it yourself or know where to aim for. But infinity focus on this is exactly where it says. It's a very well calibrated lens. So on a sunny day, like when I was around Manchester taking these photographs, I put it on maybe f8, wazzed it into infinity focus, and then I knew everything away from me would be automatically in focus, so it didn't hinder me or slow me down in the slightest. It's really good for walking about in those sorts of situations. The only negative in terms of optics that I've found, and I think it's sort of a characteristic of this brand of lens, is the lens flare. Again, it sort of washes out the contrast and doesn't flare in a pleasing manner. But this is much better at it than the 25mm that I reviewed a couple of weeks ago, and I really put it to the test this time a little bit more because I knew that this was something to look out for. And I do think it's held together a heck of a lot better than some of the lenses I've tested in the past. As you can see with strobist off-camera flash, sometimes I aim at the flash to get nice lens flares and things, and it's not really possible with this lens. However, if you don't aim it at the sun or a flash gun, which, let's be honest, 99% of the time you wouldn't anyway, It's very pleasing, and the focal length is superb for portraiture. At the skate park photo shoot, which I'll put a video up here, we did that a couple of weeks ago, it worked really well. I had a couple of shots with this. I sort of tried out a couple of different lenses during this shoot, and when there was no flares in the shot, it was great for portraiture. It was really sharp, the fall off was really nice, and I just think it's a great lens for portraiture. Bokeh. 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 Balls of light. Beautiful things. Very surprised and pleased that this lens has wonderful bokeh. I tried it out in a couple of different scenarios and it's really cool. You can get quite close to the subject and the depth of field, given that it's only 2.8, the depth of field is awesome. And then finally, and still very importantly, the price. 70 quid, under 100 quid, you can get a cracking walkabout lens, video lens, and a portrait lens for a really good price, and it's tiny. So whether you have sort of the pen style bodies or the GX style bodies or the larger bodies, it will fit into your kit and you won't notice adding an extra lens into your bag. The 28mm focal length actually. When I first got it I thought it was a bit of a strange choice, but it's a really nice sweet spot because you're just over sort of the 50mm full frame equivalent focal length, so all your portraiture and your depth of field, you get those kinds of longer lens benefits, but it's not too zoomed in that you can't use it for everyday stuff as well. So it's a really versatile sort of sweet spot, and I don't think I've seen any other 28mm. If I have, I'll put it in this bit. I'll do some research. Future me, do some research. Turns out past me wasn't too far wrong. I found a 28mm lens, baby, and a crazily expensive Zeiss lens. And aside from that, you've just got adapted options. So for native Micro Four Thirds 28mm, this is a good option. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions at all about this lens, just let me know, and see you soon.